The following podcast is a Dear Media production.
We ride Hillary's coattails. We ride your coattails. We ride anybody's coattails. We're proud coattail riders.
Coattails to the top, my gal.
You guys are currently riding Selena and Francia's coattails. Is that correct?
I mean, we basically brokered the peace treaty of a lifetime. Like, Josh and I literally work for the UN.
Pretty much.
And so, Josh, Francia came on our podcast, and all of a sudden they were spotted out just grabbing a quick bite as friends. You think that was us?
Mere days after the interview.
100% she saw it, and Selena, and I don't mean to project, being like the forward-thinking, wonderful queen that she is, she's like, let me squash this. Let me squash the whispers and the rumors and this terrible game of telephone and show people really what's up.
Let's say, for argument's sake, we're playing a hypothetical game. Selena watched your episode of The Good Guys. What do you think she made of you two?
I think that she thinks that we are good, honest men that are ripe to hear her side of the story as well, and she's itching to come on.
Wow, you think you're going to nail an interview with Selena?
I mean, like, why not?
We would be honored. I remember being surprised the one and only time I met Selena Gomez of how tall she is.
You know, I met her as well, not to, one up you. It was kind of recently. She was incredible. She was absolutely beautiful. You know, it's so funny. I don't notice or really ever remark on people's height. And maybe it's because height is so not an issue for me. I've just always been short. It's like not a thing. I don't compete in height. I never notice other people's height. And I didn't notice hers. I noticed her, radiance, her professionalism, her beauty, but not her height.
How tall do you think she is?
I would say a strong 5'8".
Oh, wow.
Oh, that is tall.
That
How
is
tall are
tall.
you, Josh?
I am 5'11", and I round up to 6 feet. I'm a Hollywood 6'1".
Okay, so you're like 5'4"?
I'm 5'11".
Sure. I just want to say, because Ben's like 6 feet, and I just
No, I'm not. I'm taller than that.
He's like 6'2".
Let's get one thing straight. Ben is not 6'2".
By the way, I'm a Hollywood 6'2". I'm 6'1". I round up. I'm actually a Bollywood 6'2".
You're not really 6'1".
No, I am.
He's giving Vince Vaughn energy. Amongst Jews, he's a giant.
I just want to say the fact that you compared Ben to Vince Vaughn is so complimentary. Vince Vaughn is one of my Hollywood crushes. Which other celebrities do you think Ben looks like?
John Mayer.
Oh my God, also my celebrity crush.
He knows that.
But do you think he looks like John Mayer?
Yeah, I think, you know what? I think he's getting better and better looking. I don't know what it is. It's just every episode. I can't get over it.
It's probably the Ozempic. Let's talk about it, because I feel like I owe Ben an apology. I mean, I don't know what it is about Josh. For someone who's not on Ozempic, you sure do talk about it literally with every breath you breathe.
I can't help it.
And I had asked, Ben and I started Ozempic. I did a whole podcast episode about it for the Toast Patreon if you want to listen to all the details. But I had asked, we both started last year, and I had asked Ben not to talk about it publicly yet. I was not super comfortable talking about it. I was still working through my feelings on the matter. And you just made it quite difficult because you literally bring it up every 35 seconds. And, Ben is such a good husband that he lied on the podcast for me. And I appreciate that because I was not in a place where I felt comfortable yet. So I did want to apologize to the good guys and gals listening, but also to Ben for putting you in that position. I do think Josh probably owes you an apology too, because Ben is on it and you let him lie. Not to throw you under the bus with me.
That's called some good friend shit. That's some bro shit.
I think a good friend would have not brought it up altogether, but I understand you for some reason you can't help yourself.
Because it's a miracle drug.
It is.
It's a miracle drug. And by the way, anybody that believed my lie, that's on you.
Yeah.
Because it's obvious.
It is obvious. To both of you, it's obvious. But I will say that I think I'm just resentful.
Some people could call Ben a liar, but I would call him a good husband. I wanted to clear Ben's name.
And what I just want to say quickly is I never wanted to lie. I always wanted to. I'm very, very proud of it. I think Ozempic.
I didn't tell you to lie. I just told you not to bring it up.
Okay, so what kind of fake apology is this?
I just think it's important that people know the truth.
Okay, I just want to say quickly that Ozempic is a miracle drug.
Love it.
Everybody out there that has something bad to say about it has never struggled with obesity, because if you have, then you know that it's a sickness the same way that anything else is a sickness.
Yeah.
There aren't people going out there saying oh, you have ADHD, just try to figure it out. Don't take Vyvanse, don't take Adderall. Just figure it out. Have some willpower to pay attention.
Right.
No, when you're when you're obese for your entire life, there's a reason. And that's because there's something in your brain that's telling you, hey, Tubby, I know you're hungry. Eat more.
It's
Eat
genetics.
more. Eat till you're sick. Just keep doing it.
It's not something in your brain. It's genetics. Like you are predisposed.
But you're predisposed to these thoughts.
Yeah.
Like people don't realize that it's the thought is like, oh, you're full. Go eat an entire like box of donuts because you want to be more full. And what Ozempic has done, at least for me, is it's actually training my brain. Hey, fucker, you're full.
Yeah.
Like just chill out. You're full. So everybody's saying like, oh, it's such a quick fix. Oh, people are losing weight so quickly. Like actually, if you do it right, you're losing a couple pounds a week consistently, and your body is learning and your brain is learning that you don't need so many calories to live. So just saying, love it.
It's not quick. I would say for us, it was like consistently about 2 pounds a week.
I just can't believe I'm surrounded by liars, and I'm really I'm trying to reconcile that. No,
Are you trying to make it about you, Josh? Are you jealous?
I'm totally jealous, and I think I bring it up so much just because my weight journey is so terribly documented that I'll never be able to outrun it for the rest of my life. And in many ways, I'm proud of it. And I think it's wild to me to see that this thing, to your point, Ben, is this incredible miracle type drug, and it just wasn't available when I was losing weight.
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Like when you were in the spotlight and you were so heavy and it became like a thing that you wanted to fix, had Ozempic been in the culture at the time, would you have taken it?
I imagine so. I mean, I imagine a doctor. I mean, listen, at 13 years old, my pediatrician put me on cholesterol meds, so I'm sure it would have been in the conversation.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm sure it would have probably been in the rotation. I mean, listen, it's early days for it, so I think that's the only reason why people aren't totally comfortable with it. But if we just see it continue to do what it's been doing for the next decade, I think we'll naturally see it sort of brought up in many situations.
The thing I actually really like about it, and I think what a lot of people might not understand, is like it's actually not this new experimental drug. People with diabetes have been using it for insulin resistance for years and years and years. Like it's a proven drug with benefits that now, apply to us, but have helped people for many, many years. Like I feel really confident and kind of safe using it, knowing that it's not this new drug that just hit the market and then, in 10 years there'll be a documentary on it. Like it's proven for something else, but it's proven to be safe.
I just think we also have to accept the fact that like this is what evolution is. Like we're getting better at this thing, and it's something that plagues us since agriculture. Like since we figured out a way to get food easily, it's been something. And what's been so revealing to me, and I don't think I'm speaking out of school here, I grew up like you guys, and I don't mean to project, but like around Jews, New York Jews, we love to eat. It's so centered around food. Something good's happening, you should eat. Something bad's happening, well, let's eat. And then to be around my wife's beautiful, Goyish, Irish Catholic family, tall, naturally thin, like literally you'd think they were the goal. And yet the psychological part is so there, which is the obsession about what to eat and how to eat in a way where they're not going to put on weight.
That's why it was important for me to marry in the faith, because I don't think I could become family with people who don't eat the same way that I do. I
look at my little son, my little Max, and when I see his like long, beautiful legs, and I'm like, there is not a Jewish kneecap in there, and I couldn't be happier.
It's for the best. Jewish kneecaps can be quite frightening. Nobody look at mine. Like they're wrinkly. They have their own zip code.
Knees.
They're frightening.
You have beautiful knees.
Thank you.
Should we talk about Raquel?
Ugh, okay.
And I need you to give some background, because we know that you watched the interview with Bethany.
I listened to it. I hate when people promote their podcasts with video and then don't have the full video up. There was this video announcing that Raquel was coming on Bethany Frankel's podcast. So I, of course, went to YouTube. I searched for Bethany Frankel's podcast, and the video's not up yet. I'm sure she does it a few days later. I understand production. Trust me, I run a podcast network. I know how hard it can be. But my God, so annoying. So then I was forced to listen to it, and it wasn't that compelling. I think I was 10 minutes in, and I'm like, wow, I have actually forgotten to listen for the last 10 minutes. It felt very scripted. I also hate, this is exactly what Tom Sandoval, the man she had an affair with, he went on Howie Mandel's podcast for his big rebuttal. And it's so easy to speak your truth and start, lying when the person you're talking to has literally no idea the facts of the situation. So Howie wasn't challenging him on dates and facts and things he was misconstruing, because what the fuck does Howie Mandel know? Bethany Frankel sits her down. She's like, I don't watch your show. I don't know who you are. I heard about Scandival, but like, tell me what happened. So to have like somebody completely removed from the situation is a great, PR method for somebody to go unchallenged on a podcast. But for people who actually really care about the situation, it's frustrating. So much time has passed since Scandival. I think a lot of people were like, their panties were in a twist when they saw this announcement. For me, I was like, honestly, I'm over it. It's been so long. I actually am here to hear Raquel's side. We've heard everybody, every cast member has been on every Dear Media podcast like 45 times. We've heard their side. If there's one person I want to hear from, it's Raquel. For me, I think the interview, and I did not finish it, I think it fell short.
I'm sure it did. I don't know what goes through these people's minds. Like for Bethany to and shout out Bethany, God bless, but like for her to so proudly state that she doesn't watch the show, she should say, I'm completely unprepared, and isn't that charming? Like,
right.
What are we
nailed the
talking
interview
about?
of a lifetime, and I know nothing. Tell me what's going on. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. I saw something on TikTok that I want you to respond to. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Brittany Broski?
Yes, Brittany Broski, sure.
I want to say I was on your side, and that's just not just because I'm married to your co-host and I love you dearly. She did an interview and she went on a podcast and said that you two like were seated in first class together on a flight, and you both didn't like say hi to each other. I don't know if you guys know each other, but then a few weeks later, you sent her a message asking her to come on the podcast, and she was like very offended by it because you didn't say hi to her on the flight, but she also didn't say hi to you.
Right. So I was taken aback by that as well, and I think our producer Marshall needs to come in front of the camera and take a little ownership for getting me into all this hot ass water.
I love her.
Me too. I am truly a fan. Maybe I should have phrased it, I'm a new fan, but here's what I thought after I watched this video. I haven't flown because I'm like, now I'm like doing all of like
the math.
Yes, I'm doing the forensics on my life. And I haven't flown since mid-May, right? And it must have been a flight because I was working in Asheville, North Carolina. So I imagine it was a flight like that. And so I know that sometime in June, Marshall and I talked about a guest for the show who would be a great guest. And Brittany's name came up. He showed me some of her videos. I watched some of my own. And I was like, oh, this is hilarious. We would be so lucky to have her. And then I looked back, again, forensics, looked back at my Instagram DMs, and I had written her in mid-July. So my thought was, could I have...
So you're saying flight was May,
yes.
Your discovery of Brittany was June, message was July.
Yes.
Okay, I mean, that timeline makes sense. So you don't know what flight she's talking about. Like, you didn't see her and ignore her.
All I know is that I believe she was mentioning some like early morning flight, which I for sure am like, let's all just go to bed and I'll see you when we land. So yeah. I believe that, and I actually, made sure to write her and say like, listen, if I came off rude in any way, I really hope I didn't, and I am a big fan, and I hope I get a redo in the future. And she was very cool back. So love you, Brittany.
Okay. All's well that ends well with Brittany Broski.
Thank you.
You guys need to get her on the podcast. She's a star.